Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Great People TV. Today we have a very inspirational speaker for you and a dance entrepreneur because our topic tonight is dance, like everybody is watching. So I'd like to welcome to Great People TV dance entrepreneur Suhaili Micheline. Suhaili, how are you and how have you been?
Hi, thanks, Ben. I'm good. I'm good, thank you.
Right.
It's been very interesting post-pandemic. So yeah, lots to talk after this.
Yeah, very much so. Well, tell us, you've been a dance entrepreneur for a very, very long time, a choreographer. You worked in the performing arts, not just in Malaysia but in the region. You choreographed
Mhm.
for many performances globally and within Malaysia as well. But everything before the pandemic was great for you, but all of a sudden it was gone. Tell us about
Mm.
that.
Um, Gosh, it was I'm sure as traumatic as everyone had their own idea as soon as we were told lockdown was gonna I mean we all go home, in like a few days. And to me, that was very difficult in not knowing what to think because my mom, who established Aurora for 30 years plus, uh, was only given to me like full responsibility to truly run the studio in 2000, towards the end of 2018, or yeah, around that time of the year. So it gave me only 1 year to kind of really engage with people, how I could look at the business in a different way and kind of plan what I could do from 2 to 3 years, ahead. And then that happened. So it was really like, oh my goodness, I uh, all I all I could think was is close the school because everyone is closing everything literally. All of us have to go home. So it's it's yeah, it was a struggle, a totally different new sort of challenge, besides the fact that performing artists are constantly surviving, finding ways to survive, and this is just pop up even more. So that's why it comes back to that question of what do I do? I just need to stay calm. By staying calm, I could actually focus little things. What can I do? Okay, we can start online. Okay, how are we going to communicate with the community in Sumanjaya of how we can still stay connected?
So
Yeah.
thank you for sharing that story. That's very quite an emotional story right there in itself, or probably a story, a story altogether. But let's talk about things are much, much better now,
Yeah.
and things have opened up. God willing, inshallah, it will stay that way. But let's talk about you as an entrepreneur. Okay, you struggled during the pandemic, like most service industries did. But how
Hmm.
did you refocus yourself in terms
Um,
of, in terms of from a business point of view, and say, okay, this is my target market. This is how I'm going to invite back in, or invite back now that
hmm.
we're open again. And this is new customers that we're going to tap, who we probably never tap, something like that. Could you
Hmm.
tell us the entrepreneurial story? So I'm asking you to put your boss hat on here, not your dancing shoes.
Oh, I think I still have to put my dancing shoes, believe it or not, then. I just perform. Every month now, I'm doing a performance because it's just a request. So coming back to that, it's just reminding me that it's not about you bringing up the business, it's about you bringing up yourself as an active performing artist. Even though I'm thinking, yo, I'm old already, like thinking, I'm mature enough to just step out and let the young ones take over. But it's just so strange how the wheels are turning, and it's just giving me this opportunity where I feel like I'm not just an entrepreneur, but I'm still an active performing artist, that I could make a difference, whether it be seeing someone in person or performing on stage. So that's just a blessing that I didn't, I'm so easily fooled to question myself. Why? Why do I need to still do this? Like, why do people need to still see me do this? I could get others, but it's just a way of thinking that with the way I want to bring up the school, it's definitely a struggle in this position where I'm not business trained. I don't have that mind. So I use creativity and shift it to how it could work as a business. For example, I I had to decide because of the pandemic. A lot of parents who were still with us understand the situation, and because I made a very transparent newsletter about what is going on and how can we still have the children be dancing online. And because they were very understanding with the costs, the money that they were putting in as the fees, I didn't, and the teachers as well, my team, I managed to save up, I think almost like 50% more than what we would generate in a year. And so that money now has been explored to assist more development in our dance education. And then and also because Aurora used to do a biannual concert, so literally December 30th last year, we um, we invested in doing a full-on concert for everybody. And the concert
Nice.
was more meaningful because, again, from a business perspective, we wanted to create that sense of connection again, and to kind of use that as a marketing tool on how it's so important to still stay connected through, through body contact, or, seeing something live. It's so
Yeah,
different. Than
physical activity, physical presence
physical
is the
distance.
above.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, rather
No, I
than
mean
a
itself
virtual.
from what you're telling us. I mean, per- sorry if I'm cutting you off. I'm just summarizing points here because
Yeah.
Great People TV, our audience is about. They love the grit, they love the hustle, they love the story of resilience, and this is your story. So your story
Mm.
started today with tough times with the pandemic, and then better times, but still the sole talent of Suhaili, who has performed for
Mm.
many years for many people across the world. You are still the product of the business, and
Mm.
but you're saying to yourself, wait a minute, can my legs hold up?
Yeah.
But the business needs to be held up because people paying for your talent pays the bills rather than the business being standalone. But you can't help that because of how the business unfolded in the last couple of years because of the pandemic. But maybe you could tell us, again, with your entrepreneur sales hat on, because at the end of the day, entrepreneurship is about selling. What do you sell to parents, to adults, in terms of why they need dance? Why should they dance? Why should they train to dance like everybody is watching? Okay, what are the selling points of dance? Because not everybody gets it.
No, no, you're right. Not everybody gets it. If they choose to believe in it, then yeah, they've got to dive themselves into it. So that's why I think when I said about the concert, it was equally important for them to see to believe it, because otherwise it's always, honestly, virtual is nothing like the real world. Gives you a gist
Yep.
of that desire of fantasy, but it doesn't beat watching any performing arts that's real, that's live in front of you. So I guess that comes back to me selling as the product, the product of what dance could take me to. So maybe I can dive on a personal story, and how I think people who watch me, and how they could relate to anybody they know, whether it's their niece, their nephew, their children. Um, so during the second lockdown, which is 2021, I was feeling kind of um, tired with this new cycle of our lockdowns. Some people loved it, and I did for a while. Don't get me wrong, but I just felt so run down because I felt I was playing an extra role to the people that I cared for. Um, I feel like I was just exhausted. And then, funny thing is, something opened up, which was art, colors, painting. And I never had this hobby or any interest in this thing, but it was just a simple spring cleaning in a room, and I saw just a few old paint tubes, and I just start playing it. And then I realized I did do, going back to 2013, 14, I did a show for Elle magazine where I was dancing on stage on a canvas flooring and paint all over. So that journey has actually led to more, again, because you have to see it to believe it, right? That journey have led a lot of people to actually realize that you can you can merge 2 points of therapy of things, whether you know it or you don't know it very well, and become as something else and become a hybrid. Let's put it that way, become a hybrid. Yeah, so that was that funny approach, and that whole going into that deep hole managed to suddenly find a light in the tunnel of this exploration, and that took me further. That took me even more into when we all came out, and helped me in really finding. I mean, got me a bit more excited that I needed to boost my business in ways that I never thought I could. You know, so
So
yeah.
basically, when you were going through this transformation, again, I'm just trying to summarize the key points and the key learnings here is that, and the key transformation, of course,
Hmm.
is that when you were like, you never thought art could be connected to dance and you discovered that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And something really good came out of it. What, from the sounds of it, did also some mental health counseling come out of it in terms of, hey, art can be, I mean, art and dance, which you found, could be a potential therapy or a healing point for some people. Is that how the story unfolded?
So you know how if I were to ask you as an artist, I mean, an artist will always love and get indulged in their work, but we always forget how are we going to
100%.
maintain ourselves to survive. So I managed to not just fix my mental health, but the boost is because people were buying my artworks.
Okay.
so it wasn't just that, like the abundance was there in what I was cultivating without realizing. People were willing to buy the artwork.
Wow.
They know, especially for people who like, yeah, we know you dance, but we didn't realize how much the dance could take you to this new form of beauty. Well, that's what is it like. There's so much beauty in the works that you have represented. So
Okay. Let's just stay on that point because I'm
yeah.
trying to tell a story here. So very interesting story. Like now that things are better and you're still offering the same services to children and to a
Mhm.
certain degree adults who are interested to do it, are you gonna work harder than ever? I mean, you're a hard worker in general, but are you gonna work harder and smarter to push out there as part of the Suhaili brand, not just Suhaili the dancer, Suhaili?
Yeah, a bit of both, because I think as a kid, I grew up hustling even to be trained as a performer, but I didn't really knew what my outlet was. Just to find some sense of stability in, my anxiety. Like from time to time, I was always competing. This is very personal, but it was so bad at one point that I was competing internationally that I actually I had very bad gastro, to the point where I couldn't even perform. That's how bad my anxiety was. So my case is, if I could find ways to diversify my dance, then for most workshops I would like to be part of, or even like projects that involves the dancing, it has to have a balance of how they can just I suppose, tune out or just chill um, in a way. So I connect them with other entrepreneurs who are artists in their own um, field, whether they are a yoga instructor, whether I feel like, again, collaboration with not just my brand, but with things that I've learned along the way is definitely learning from other people. And I think it's so important to share that with the kids and parents so they could, I guess, get educated that this is equally important.
So look, great stories and antidotes that you shared tonight. But maybe just as a summary and the final question, diversified in
Yeah.
since you have art, not just the dance. So where to for the highly brand, in terms of the school as well, in terms of the
Yeah.
entrepreneurial journey. So dance, so everybody is watching, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, a school is still a school where we want to always give the best in the students to achieve as much experience as well as being um, I guess, qualified for their levels of understanding in dance because we just don't do ballet. So our selling point of what makes our Aurora very special is because we do ballet and we do modern dance. It's kind of like compulsory to merge them together because they might not agree at a young like parents or kids, but just to tell them that you're gonna have to diversify whether you choose to be an artist or not, whether you end up being at a corporate, um, you know, in corporate or working elsewhere, has nothing to do with dance. There will be some point where you have to perform. For some strange reason, it's just natural for everybody to commit something to so it will be useful in the future. Um, so again, I'm always learning. I'm still learning as a teacher. I'm still learning through all the failures and the little successes keeps me hopeful and with that kind of also motivates me to further explore what my brand is in today, yeah, in this year, because as artists when we start maturing, we still it's either you choose to move on or just kind of stay connected and to be very open-minded, continuously
Exactly,
open-minded.
exactly.
Yeah, so I'm just excited because basically people are still asking me, hey, I want you to perform. Okay, that
That's
means
good.
I really need to go to, I gotta keep up and stay fit, stay
Look after
extra
yourself.
active.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's also the chance where I can be creative. And by creativity also means not that and I need to stay in my element. I think as a performer and as a creator, I need to step up as well for myself. If people who really saw me dancing last year with paints and getting the audience an immersive, giving them an immersive performance, then I know that I could explore further because people are interested. People want that. People feel it. They need to feel when they are attending a show or a space. It doesn't have to be a stage. They just want to feel again. This is an opportunity. It's really a great time to just go for it, now that we're all able to see each other and not feel like, yeah, feel fearful all the time. So,
Well, Suhaili, you know what? It's been a really, really interesting story because for you tonight that you told our viewers because, you know, the thing about dance, it always looks good from the outside, the nice
mm,
pictures, you know, pretty makeup, the choreography in sync. But
mm.
obviously, with your story, like many other businesses as well, the challenges are the challenges, and everybody goes through challenges. So, never judge something because it looks so good. because,
Mm.
deep down, like everyone, we have our tough points as well. So thank you so much for sharing your stories tonight. I mean, I think the key learning from tonight is diversification of business,
Yeah,
because
absolutely. Yeah.
you can't just rely on one place, but, but also, also adds a bit of spark and interest. And in your
Yeah.
case, tapping a talent that was probably always there. So where can just a final question, more of a marketing question. Where can viewers, is there a Facebook they can go to, an Instagram they can go to, a website they can go to look at your art and to find out a little bit more about your school in terms of the services, the structure, and enrollment?
Yeah. Sure. So I'll start with the school. The school is based in Taipan in USJ 10. And our IG handle is at Aurora Dance School. So AURORA Dance School, one whole word. And usually you could message there, and then our admin team would actually assist you on the details of what you're looking for, the time schedule and fees and stuff like that. And then for my my IG, it's actually Sudanza. And the one that I recently opened because everyone says, "Come on, your art has to like have its own page." Like, okay, so it's Motif by Sudanza, MOTIF, and then there's a dot, BY dot SUEDANZA.
So as you can see, everyone, and as you can hear, Suhaili has just mentioned all the social media platforms to try to find out a bit more about a dance school. Do enroll, because I'm a firm believer that dance is always a good thing for everybody, regardless whether you can or you cannot dance. That really doesn't matter. It's all about enjoying the process of dancing. So I will just to share with you the story. Once upon a time, to become a better TV presenter, I just joined up for some dance classes just to make me a little bit more relaxed
Oh,
and not so stiff. So that was a lot, but that's another story for another day. That was a long, long time ago. On the Great People TV side, please follow our social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube if you haven't done so already. For those of you who do want to inquire about my Master of Ceremony or TV hosting services, please go to Great People TV on Instagram. Just let me get this right. Great, yes, Great People TV, one word, .my. Drop us a message there. And you can drop us a message on Great People TV Facebook and inquire about my moderation, TV hosting, and MC services. I'll try to cut you a good rate as best as I can. And if you want Suhaili to be part of that performance services as well, she's part of the Great People TV network. We can definitely factor that in as well. Suhaili, thank you so much for being with us tonight. Dance like everybody is watching, and paint like everybody is watching in your case. The major lesson here, diversity. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Great People TV. Take care.